Mm-hmm.
So what are you
Amen.
gonna do now without any education, any experience? What are
Right.
you supposed to rely on? You rely on yourself.
Yeah.
So each one of them should have some form of backup plan, some form of skills to fall back on.
Yes.
That's my opinion.
Teresa, what we're talking about is not the not rely on. What we're talking about is like women should know their place. Even the Bible says it. Wives, obey your husband as you obey the Lord.
Their place is the same place a man's
He's
place.
joking, okay?
No.
There's no special
No.
place for either one of them.
No,
That's my point.
God created the man, and then they took a part of the man's body to create the woman, and then that's where it comes from, the woman with the weaker sex. Because when Satan wanted to test them, they went to the weaker sex, the
forgot.
female.
I'm looking at it
And
another
it's
way,
because
though.
of them that we have to work that hard because of their sin.
Franklin, you forgot what Beatrice says. She take martial art.
Yeah.
So please, okay, I'm not helping you tonight.
I wanna just say that, I mean, anybody who's knows an artist, that sometimes your first draft is not as great as your perfection work after.
Whoa.
So I'll just say that.
No, we're not talking about an artist. We're talking about the Lord.
Yes.
Yeah,
God is
and
the
face
artist.
it, yes, you guys are the first
God is not
creation according
imperfect.
to the Bible,
He's
but
not
the
imperfect.
perfect came
He's not
second.
imperfect.
So she's trying to say the set we was created.
That's just the first draft.
Yes.
What the reality is that they are a small part of us. A small part of us. And the Satan used them to make us work hard. It's because of their sin.
Well, because you're so weak, you're easily convinced. I mean, you could have said no, you could have denied, but you see, men don't really think with their brains. So
Let's
I don't
move
know
to
what they think.
let's move
I don't
to
want to get into
let's
that.
talk about the topic, please.
oh, we
Yeah.
we have to talk about race as
We're
We're
well.
gonna go there, but before we move,
Wasn't I bargaining for?
thank you very much, and keep calling the show. We're gonna do this real quick. Name one woman you look up to.
You go first.
Any one of
You
you?
said Oprah Winfrey, so I'll say Oprah Winfrey.
Yes.
I'm not sure. My mom.
Okay.
Yeah, I admire her strength.
I got Mayba she's an African lady. She look up to Michelle Obama, and regarding the career glass ceiling effect she was talking about, she said that we have to teach our children at an early age that they can do about everything. So let's move on real quick because
Yes.
the time is kind of going crazy. Have you guys ever experienced any inconvenience because of your skin color at work
Oh,
or
yes.
anywhere?
Oh, your race.
You wanna
Absolutely.
briefly talk about that experience? Briefly?
Yes, I've had a lot of experiences with race. I remember my very first job I had when I came here. I was working in a cafe, and the supervisor told me to scrape gum from the floor. And I said, I am not doing that. I refused because I felt like, and he kept telling me, take the garbage out. And there were other race workers, like there were white workers, and they only did the register or the clean jobs. But anything like garbage or sweeping, he's always telling people of African American descent to do it. So I started becoming offended when he told me to scrape the gum from the floor. Because even as a manager, even if I was a manager and I saw gum on the floor, instead of asking one of my employees, I would probably do it myself. Because I feel like he was demeaning me. Like, how do you tell a female, especially, I was 18 years old. How do you tell an 18-year-old female to go bend down where people are going in and out and scrape gum from the floor? I felt so humiliated. And I also work in a company where there are people of, no offense, I'm like probably one of the 2 African Americans there, and they're all white, and they all get paid more than I do. And they don't have a better degree than I do. They don't have more experience than I do, but they just get paid more than I do. And it's just the reality of it. They get treated differently. They get more perks. it's just the way it is. And I'm sure that a lot of other companies do the same thing, and a lot of other people face the same thing. But it's just I look at it like another of one of the struggles living in America. So that's my experience at work.
Beatrice, the next question is for you. Where do you think we are at with racism in the United States of America? Free country.
I mean, obviously, it still exists because it just still exists. I think it's. I think we still have a lot more work to do, and really just educating, as well as empowering people to stand up, because that's where it lies. It's just there's a lot of ignorance out there. Stuff continues to happen every single day. It's going to take, like I said, it's going to take for us to stand up and make the change. And sometimes it gets discouraging because it feels like a giant mountain to climb. But it takes there's many people, one person can make a difference.
Yeah. I think that nowadays that it's always been out there, but now it's more in your face now. As you see, especially with the new president that we have, it's like
people are bolder.
Yeah. They feel like because it's empowered and then it's accepted and it's promoted, I think that more people is like they're out there saying it, And I think that one of the things that we forgot to do, I think our generation, is what what those great ancestors used to do, where we don't protest, we don't protest anymore, we don't speak up, we more like, hey, accept that racism is over. I think that we start doing what we were supposed to do. Nobody's fighting, you only see a few people fighting for freedom, fighting for the right, so
we don't have a lot of time left, Frank. We're gonna play a quick music that's gonna be part of Money Cry.